Hello everybody, it's Lazel here with another Magic the Gathering Arena video. It's been quite a while since I did Magic the Gathering, but now with the new set of Kamigawa, a card came out that I'm really interested in, also in building it in my real life. So the card that I'm talking about is Hidetsugu, Devouring. It is a 4 mana 4/4 legendary creature Ogre Demon that has an instant sacrifice outlet for 1 black, where I sacrifice a creature and scry 2. And its activated ability says exile the top card of your library. You may play that card this turn. When you exile a non-land card this way, Hidetsugu Devouring Chaos deals damage equal to the exiled card's mana value to any target. So what do we want to do in our historic Brawl deck is we want to enable this mechanic, and we also want to protect Hidetsugu with things that I found very interesting, like Feign Death. We have Kaya's Ghost Form, Malakia Rebirth. We also have the Undying Malice, so all of those cards are helpful to protect our Hidetsugu. And I also put in the Mirror Shield. Aside from a lot of different mana rocks, I have also added the Mace-Mine Tome to have additional scry that we don't have to pay with mana, so depending on our current land situation we can work with the Mace-Mine Tome to enable a good hit off the top. Some people were very interesting in putting in the Warped Sword in the deck, but the activated mechanic doesn't really work that way, so I found it more interesting to add the Rune of Mortality, because if we put it onto Hidetsugu we can ping any target with Death Touch, and in addition to that the rune draws us a card, so I found that way more helpful. We have Jadar Ghoulcaller because of the token generation that we then can sacrifice to the ability of Hidetsugu. Also very interesting because we can do it on the decay stack, so before the creature sacrifices itself we can just do it with Hidetsugu. The Ghoulish Procession is a card that I think is very powerful because it counts for every non-token creature, so also for opponent's creatures or just our creature. So just a good card overall. It's cheap, and we have one of the only few enchantment removals, of course, Feed the Swarm. Red Hot Invasion, also a token generator, so you kind of get the point where this deck is going. We have some, depending on some removals, like Bloodsheath's First. Then the Eat to Extinction is an awesome card in this deck because it lets us look at the top card of our deck and we may put it into our graveyard, so great card and great synergy with Hidetsugu. The interesting card also is Scheming Symmetry, a card that wasn't played very much in Standard and stuff like that, but with Hidetsugu it is very interesting for us. Of course we also give our opponent an advantage, but depending on what we look for we have an instant impact. For example, we have the Volcanic Salvo as one of our win conditions. It is also a spell that gets cheaper depending on a certain situation on our board. So those are the cards that we want to work with, just as Metalwork Colossus, an 11 CMC creature that we can cast, also depending on the non-creature artifact mana value. So just great in this deck. Just as Mere Enforcer affinity for artifacts is great in this deck, this one would ping with Hidetsugu for 7 and we might cast it a bit cheaper. So the top of our library is very interesting for us, so a must inclusion into the deck is of course Baldur's Citadel, a great one. And I also think that these tapped lands are way more interesting for us. The Zoth consumption, we find it with Hidetsugu for 6, we ping for 6 and still can play it as a tapped land, just great. So we also added Hagra Mauling to that. And overall, these dual-sided cards like Carnival to Carnage is great here because it also counts as a 5 mana card, so we can ping for 5 and use one of those cheaper sides to just play the card itself. I also edited Exquisite Blood in the deck because when we ping our opponent for a certain amount of damage we also gain life, because this deck tends to take a lot of damage. It is also very hard because we play a lot around Hidetsugu, so people will try to remove him, so it's going to be tough and our life total is at constant pressure. So Exquisite Blood, just a great addition. Of course we have some board vibes like Crux of Fate. I also added the, where is it? Virtual of Suit, and yeah. Overall, the Poison the Cup is a great removal spell in here because it also lets us cry too, we can foretell it, so overall good card in here. Alright guys, so I think I have talked a lot about the deck. I didn't went over all of the cards, but overall I think that you get the point, and then I would say let's jump into some games and see how the deck does. Alright, we are against a ninjutsu deck. Let's see if we can handle it. So, a lot of lands, bit of early interaction, but no ramp, so yeah, this looks better. Sadly some expensive cards in our hand, but I'm a fan of the early Dreadhorde invasion. Could have kept the Fabled Passage to shuffle our deck later, but we should be good to go. Okay, the Nightmare is a great interaction early on. Alright. So we will, bring it down, stay efficient with our mana. Next turn, look at what our opponent has in his hand. Alright, our opponent's commander. We drew a land, let's see what he has. Alright. Drag. Bounce. And yeah, so I guess we would take the drag to the underworld. And for 4 mana we can... Well, we could go and Jutsu... Wow. That's a good one. So like I wanna go wide when I see the opponent's hand. Yeah, keep it like that for now. Alright, opponent declares an attack, so we'll go for the double block, and our opponent interacts somehow. Well, he has ninjutsu, but still. Bounces, alright. Our opponent sees the signs and prefers to step back. So let's go right into the next one. We are matched against. Alright, next Ishin. Okay, so we have a board wipe, we have a Dread Presence, we have the Elspeth's Nightmare on 3, we are on the play, so I guess we'll keep it. Sadly, again, the Mere Enforcer in our opening hand, so what can you do? Alright, now it's for Sentinel, early removal, great. Just really need to catch up with those land drops. Fiery Emancipation, not what we want here. We could go for the Elspeth's Nightmare to just check out our opponent's hand. But yeah, if we don't draw a land next turn, we kinda like have to do it anyways. Can't do more anyways. So our opponent is stuck on lands there, that's great. So we will use our Elspeth's Nightmare to remove this creature there. And we will then... I guess we will play this one on red? Yeah, we will. Alright. Static Crystal. Let's see what our opponent has. Artifact, Enchantment of Planeswalker, Monocolored Permanent, Revenge of Ravens, Helm of the Host. Yeah, many good cards. So our opponent will end up exiling our stuff and destroying our stuff, so I guess we will... Yeah, I will just take the Vanishing Verse here. And for now, I will... Yeah, I really want to force it, so let's go for the Dread Presence. One of my favorite cards. Sadly, currently when you have no swarms, it's like close to useless. 4 mana, 3/3, but... Okay, here's the Revenge. Our opponent's graveyard. And here we can... Yeah, we could take out the Revenge of Ravens and just start working with our Dreadnought Invasion, force the Fracture. And I guess that's what we are about to do. Still, we will hopefully get the token out of it, but our opponent also just might remove it. Our opponent seems to be a little bit mana screwed. Okay, there he is, shocks it in, completely reasonable. Could go for his commander and for the Fracture. Maybe I should have taken the Helm of the Host. Alright, here's the Sheen. And he goes for the haste, apparently. Yeah, alright. And hits us for 4. That is okay. First token. There is a Swarm. Great, we will use it to draw a card. There's another land, alright. So we could go for the Fiery Emancipation, but I want to like wait with it because I don't want to get the Fracture out of the opponent's hand, so I will just go for the Hidetsugu and wait what our opponent does. We can hit for free. And we can still sacrifice instant speed, so let's see what our opponent does. Alright, Mod of the Skyclaves, very helpful here. That sadly revolves. So we might have to wipe the board pretty soon. Still 2 mana available, yeah, and our opponent considers going for the Dreadnought Invasion, that's good. Alright. That is one of those cards that I would have wished to just hit with the Hidetsugu ability. I guess we will just go for the Fiery Emancipation. If our opponent can get free damage out next turn in addition to what he's about to do, then that's fine. We will leave one blocker back and our opponent has seen the signs on the wall. I think we also just had it. Yeah, we just had it. I just realized. So, nice. Still, the Metalwork Colossus would have been great to just hit straight off the top. It wouldn't have given us the win, but we would have stabilized by just pinging down Sheen. Alright, so here's our next opponent. Let's see. Toski. Alright, so we need exile removal. I need my Massacre Worm. Dread Presence, Crux of Fate, Metalwork Colossus, not what we want to have in our opening hand. Way too slow this hand, so we have to go for the mulligan here. Tome is great. The deck is great. We can remove Toski with that. It's still like, yeah, Sad that we have the Metalwork Colossus, but I really need to consider like discard effects in this deck, but yeah, we are still good to go. I think we will start off with the Canyon. Toski comes out at 4. Alright, that's the pack leader. Also need to find a way to handle this one. For now we will just go for the swamp and yeah, bring up the token. Try to get to some answers, place some stops here. 3 mana. Opponent hits us for 3. Reasonable. And anything else? No. Alright, so let's see. So we need lands. Alright, so we have ramp there. I like that. The deck is an instant and we really need to get it casted next turn, so... No, we need to find lands. I guess we will scry again. Which is way too important. Rune of Mortality is like great for us, because we can also attach it to our Dread Presence and pings down stuff, but we still need lands. I will just keep it for now because we still have a secured land drop here and can take out the Toski as soon as it comes down. But yeah, that also means that we need to pass now. We could also play the Woe Strider and block by sacrificing the goat if our opponent then brings out the Toski, and kind of like can delay all of it. And we could scry by that. We still have the Maze Mine Tome. I think that is like a bit more of a risky play, but we also get our Woe Strider out, so let's give it a try. Alright, so let's see what our opponent does. End of turn. Ram through. Alright, that's just what we talked about. But we can still block with the goat. And we got some resources out of our opponent's hand. So I guess the Toski is coming down now, yeah. So we will jump block. Avoid the card draw here. Going to our turn. I think I forgot to spy. Nice land, that's what we wanted. For that. Go to our main step. And we will just remove Toski. Sadly, we have no other play here. We could go for the rune and just enchant one of our lands, but I think that the Death Touch is really valuable, especially when we have a Dread Presence in hand, but we are still far away from that. Yep, I guess we'll just leave it like that for now. Alright, for free. Pack leader really doing some work here. Salvala, whenever another creature enters the battlefield. Okay, yeah. Important mana dog that we also need to have an eye on. So, if we hit our land drop, we go up to 5, but we cannot really do something at 5. We don't have enough cards in graveyard to exile stuff, so I guess we just take our draw step. We were very lucky here with the land, and I guess we need to keep ramping. Find more lands. We will take a mountain just to have more swamps in our deck, and by that just leave it like that for now. We will try to scry towards a swamp. If we find one, that would be awesome. There's a pelt collector. Doesn't trigger. And I guess Toski is about to come down. No, it's Vivian. Alright. So there will be probably a token.
Every mutation is nature's instinct.
Puts a counter there.
I'd like you to meet my friend, Stompy.
And we will just keep drawing cards. We place the counter there. Alright. We will draw a card. There's a replicating ring. We will scry. Let's hopefully find a swamp here. Exiles the tome. Crux of Fate. We'll take that. Go to our turn. Take the draw step. Yeah, and just delay our opponent by destroying all non-dragons. Awesome. Still, they have the Vivian, and that's great advantage for them. Right, that's the token.
Beauty lies in variation.
That's a swamp, so what we'll do is just try to do what I described. Alright, we draw a card, another swamp. Great, we enable a lot of stuff here. Just first take out that token. Nice. Now we are coming to a different problem because we don't have many resources in hand. We can ping down those tokens, but opponent is doing nothing interesting. So we will keep removing those tokens. And I guess for now we will... I think we have enough mana rocks to just play both of them and get our commander out. Nice. And now take care of Vivian.
Try that again. I dare you.
And our Metalwork Colossus is close to being hard cast. Okay.
I call, and Ikoria answers.
Whenever an opponent casts an instant or sorcery spell. Alright, so we will quickly get rid of that one. And then we will declare an attack here, so opponent has to block there, or we could offer to get rid of the Dread Presence. Yeah, I think it's worth offering here in this situation. Yeah, we take out the Vivian. But we are now at the point where we can work with other things. We could get back the Woe Strider, but I think the Metalwork Colossus is like such a great threat that we just have to get out. We could still get out the... yeah, let's get out the Woe Strider and do that. We don't have any Graveyard Recursion in here, so yeah, I think that's okay for now. And then we can scry at the end of the turn to find like something to hit with Hidetsugu. Our opponent has seen enough, great. Yeah. So we aren't doing that much with our Hidetsugu ability by now, but yeah, still a lot of fun with this deck. And yeah, I'd say let's jump into the next one. Alright, 5-color commander. Probably, or there is a chance that they are playing shrines. So we have tapped lands, we have lands, we have early interaction, our opponent goes first, so this hand might be too slow. I guess we will take a mulligan here. This one, yeah. Again, our Volcanic Salvo and our opening hand is like not what we want. Let's go for another mulligan. This hand looks better. We have the symmetry, we have Shadow Spear, we have some ramp. We have protection, so the only question is what do we remove? I think for now we will just remove the Shadow Spear. Yep. And let's see if our opponent really plays shrines. Okay, more ramp, nice. So just need to make sure that we hit some land drops. Alright, additional land, gain life. Alright, land, that's good. Mindstone, great. Gain free life. Next turn we can catch up with Solemn. Hopefully we'll hit another land drop. Mana available, yep, it's shrines, alright. So very scary what we are facing. Okay, we can still go for one of our land drops, won't need that, and we will just play it effective and go for Solemn. Ramp for another swamp here. Need to get everything together for our Citadel, although when we have the Lantern, still a different thing there. So now they have their Sanctum triggers. We really need to speed this process up. Extinction event, alright. And for 5 mana, do they have the legendary enchantment? Nope. But Witness the future, also very strong card. So hopefully we will get another land drop. Right. Replicating ring. So yeah, we will just keep ramping for now. Next turn we can bring up the Citadel. And that's fine for me. For 7 mana available. Sadly not enough for the Citadel and for Hidetsugu. Also because Hidetsugu needs to be enabled to haste. Alright. So we could draw a card here and we could ramp, so I'm fine doing that because our opponent has all of the lands available. Totally fine for me. It's also actually the protection that we should use for our Hidetsugu, but we will see. Alright, another trigger, so we will go for a mountain. We will draw the card. Alright, actually something that we want to cast. Alright, replicating ring, land, so we have 5, 8, not enough. And our opponent has a lot of mana open, so I guess we will shock this one in and try to play our commander. Okay, he resolved easily, so we don't have him at full speed yet, so we will try to disarm our opponent's hand. That resolved, so currently no counter spells. He needs to discard 2 cards. Let's see. So and I think next turn will be Bowlers the Citadel and the Symmetry afterwards, depending on what we hit on top. Alright, so there goes a Borrow Time and a Teferi's Protection, so the last card that they have in hand must be Pure Gas. And yeah, let's see what it is. I'm really afraid of what's about to come. If they discard those cards, that can easily shut down my commander, and like Teferi's Protection is like... yeah, going to be interesting. Discarded a Honden of Cleansing Fire, alright. Go Shintai, yeah, next shrine. Alright, they have 3 shrines. 1, 2, 3, alright. So they can take out my Solemn. And we will just scry in response. So we will draw first. Dread Presence, alright. So we can bottom this. No, we can actually... because I have a Dread Presence in hand, we will draw the Malice. Then we can play the Dread Presence. 3, 6, 9. Alright. Opponent milled those cards. We're still good to go in my opinion. Alright, so let's start off. We will start with the Bowlers the Citadel that resolved. We could go and deal 8 to our opponent and destroy a non-basic land. But we can also just like cast it for free and take out their Black Source, yes. Deal damage to them like that. It's great. So we can play a land from the top. We have another land on top. So what we'll do now is we will do the combo. Just because we can. I mean, we are also giving our opponent like what they actually want, but I really want to go for the Volcanic Salvo here and just shoot 12 at somebody's face. And now we can exile it. Alright, there's a poison cup on top. We will deal 12 to their face. Very funny in my opinion. Alright, so if they get another shrine, the Goshintai will be very painful for us. So we will do it like that. Alright. So depending on what they put on top, we might lose here. Because it's going to be an instant answer. Still we have Boils the Citadel on our field. Discover the formula. Also very powerful. Won't block this guy. And let's see, will he mill us? Well, thanks for that. And Shadow Spear is great, because we will enable some lifelink here. And we can just play cards from the top of our library. So I'm thinking we just need to remove shrines. We need to find really expensive stuff. And Elspeth's Nightmare won't hit anything, but I want to get it out of the way. So we are down to 3, that's actually not what we want here. It would be great if we could still cast the Swamp. We can sacrifice 10, we can... yeah, we got it. Nice. Alright, and now we activate Borders the Citadel, sacrifice like everything that we have on board, and we win by that. And yeah. Alright. So Borders the Citadel got us the win, but the ping for 12 with the Volcanic Salvo was just great, very funny. So still very clunky in my opinion, because you don't have access to certain cards like, let's say, a Skull Rag or Sensei's Divining Top. But overall the Hidetsugu is just a very fun commander in my opinion, and it's a lot of fun. Yeah, as I said, still very clunky depending on the situation, but so here's the deck again if you wanna check it out. Let me know what you think about it, that's also always very interesting to me. And yeah, then I would say see you in the next video. Goodbye guys!